Are you planning a trip to Egypt? If you're an older traveler, we're going to talk about in this video the things that you can expect, how to plan for a trip to Egypt, and at the end of it, how much it costs. So we're going to divide this video into three parts. The first one is I'm going to talk about the details, how you get there, the best way to organize your trip, and the things you can expect when you get there. First of all, keep in mind that if Egypt, a trip to Egypt, and to see the pyramids and the Sphinx and all of that fabulous Egyptian history, and it's on your bucket list, remember that there are literally tens or maybe hundreds of thousands of other people who have exactly the same idea. And so do not expect a private, intimate touring experience. Expect crowds. Now, there are lots of ways you can organize this trip, and I suppose if you were an ultra 5-star traveler, there might be some ways you could, maybe get around some of the crowds, but I just don't know. So just expect that. Another thing to expect is air pollution, especially in Cairo. Now, if you get further down into Egypt, it's not so bad in some places, but it's not a bad idea, especially if you're an older traveler, to bring a face mask, and you'll see other people wearing them too. So you don't have to feel like maybe you're an oddball that you're wearing one. But the air a lot of times is really bad. Although one day in Cairo, we found the air was actually we saw some blue sky. Pedestrian friendly. Cairo is not what you'd call pedestrian friendly. I wouldn't advise even, I hate to say this, even leaving the hotel, except for the trips that you're going to take out to the pyramids and so forth, because, you're taking your life in your hands when you walk. And we've been in some places with it that it's really, there are lots and lots of people. Well, that's not a big deal. It's just that, there's so much traffic, and trying to figure out, how you're going to get around without getting yourself killed. And they do hit pedestrians, not you as a foreigner or a tourist, but just each other. So, just kind of be careful for that. Water, that's another thing. Okay, you're a responsible, environmentally savvy traveler, so you bring your own water bottle, well, so that you can refill it. Well, I would say forget about it. Plastic water bottles reign, and it's sad that that's the case, but you're not going to find a place to fill your water bottle. You can't drink the water there. Maybe if you have one of those filtered water bottles, then maybe that would work. But where are you going to fill it? Unless you're in your hotel room, maybe something like that. But plastic bottled water is the norm. Another thing is persistent salespeople. They are masters at this, and they do not take no thank you they think of that only as an encouragement. Of course they know what no thank you means, but if you use the term la chakrin, I may not have pronounced it right, find out when you get there how to do it, but la chakrin means no thank you. And once they hear that in Arabic, okay, they'll pretty much leave you alone as long as you're firm about it. The way we organized our trip was with Exotica, which was a travel agent, and they then they don't sponsor this at all. I'm just telling you what we used, and it worked very well. They connected with a local tour guide, a tour company in Cairo called Planet Tours and Travel, and I'll have to tell you that every bit of planning, every step of the way went perfectly. It was so easy and so nice to get, from the time we arrived at the Cairo airport, there was a fellow there to meet us, ushered us right through to the visa counter, which is actually a bank there where you pay your money to get a visa, got the visas in our passports, got us right through security. It avoided a lot of confusion. It was a terrific way to go. Then got in the car, went off to our hotel. One of the first things that you should expect when you get to Egypt is that they refer to it as a tipping culture. If you And that is for sure. If you think that in the United States tipping has gotten out of control, the Egyptians are masters at this. They have got this thing down. And they are not hesitant to ask for a tip for almost anything. As one of our guides mentioned to us, nothing here is for free. And so after a while, you get you start to wonder, oh, is this person just being nice to me, or are they expect a tip? Well, I think the best way to determine that is they may be being nice to you, but they probably do expect a tip. And sometimes, it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but it's just like for everything. A guy helps put your suitcase on the security belt, to go through security. He expects a tip. I thought he was just working there, and I didn't need any help, but, okay, they expect something. It's the same for absolutely everything. You are a walking wallet, and they know that there are millions of people coming to Egypt every year, and probably for the only time in their lives, and they're going to make the most out of it, that's for sure. So, of course, you have to, you're coming there and you don't have any Egyptian pounds, which at the time we went, $1 is worth about 30 Egyptian pounds. So, sometimes a 10-pound note, a 20-pound note, which is less than $1, is about all that's expected for many of these things. But of course, you don't have Egyptian pounds when you get there, so you're forced to, if you have some $1, okay, that's at least you're ahead of the game there. But once you get to an ATM in Egypt, at least the ATMs we went to, the notes that they dispense are 50s and 200s. Well, I think the Egyptians all know this, and you have way too much money for tipping for something. And so sometimes you're thinking, oh my God, I'm giving this guy a 200 Egyptian pound tip for like almost nothing. And so you think, oh, well, I got to get some change. Well, again, they've got you there, because if you go to the only way you're going to get small enough change is to go to some kind of a local vendor, and they're not going to accept 200-pound notes. That's way too much, and even 50s are way too much for them. So, you just have to suck it up and realize it's not all that much money, and so, you're helping their economy, and there you go. In terms of buying souvenirs, knickknacks, or anything else like that, and you may have heard about the famous Karnak market. Well, we found out that the Karnak market, the only people that go there are tourists, and maybe Egyptians who are like on their day off or something to go through there just for entertainment. But it's not a place really to buy anything. Most of the stuff, they're starting out way overpriced, and most of the stuff that you could buy there are just knickknacks that you can get anywhere, and are not necessarily going to be of any high quality. But if you want to experience that, it's a good experience. Another thing is, on a trip to Egypt, most of the trips are they take about a week if you're going to see the highlights of the Sphinx and the Temple of Karnak and Abu Simbel and the Valley of the Kings and that sort of thing. And they pretty much follow a formula. If you're going to do a Nile cruise, as we did, it was like it starts out with a couple of days, 1 or 2 days in Cairo, then a 4-night Nile cruise where you're staying on that vessel, that boat. They hold about 150 people each, and then you go off and see the sights, and then finish up in Cairo. Now, there's different variations. There can be land tours. But basically, you're going to see some of the same highlights. And in the next section of this video, I'm going to go over the sites that we saw and are going to be included on pretty much any itinerary that you do. One thing I would mention for older travelers, if you have some reduced mobility issues, I don't want to say it's impossible to go to Egypt, because nothing's really impossible, but you're going to be limited in many of the activities that you do. Yes, you could get out to the pyramids. You most likely won't be able to climb up them, but that's not a big deal. You can see that they're there. When you get to the Valley of the Kings, it will be virtually impossible for you to go down into those tombs and then back up. So that may be a limitation. And you're getting in and out of different conveyances. Sometimes there's a buggy ride. There's some things like that. It is you have to be in fairly good physical condition to do this. So just keep that in mind when you're ready to go. Now, I'm not saying if you do have some severe limitations to stay home. No, don't do that. But just realize there will be some. They won't be able to accommodate a lot of your needs. The next thing is you are going to see a lot of Egyptian history. And unless you are an Egyptologist or a real aficionado of Egyptian history, it's going to be difficult for the average person to keep all of these dynasties and pharaohs straight. I mean, there's over 4,000 years of history here, and it's recorded in all these hieroglyphics and statues of these different pharaohs and their gods and so forth. And trying to keep this all in context as to when these different things happened can be a challenge. What I would say is just roll with it. Enjoy it for what it is. Pick up what you can, and if you're really interested in exploring it further, go look at that some more when you get home. Now, from all that I've said here, I hope I have not painted a negative picture. I'm just trying to tell you what you can expect. Remember, for all the maybe annoyances or whatever, remember why you are there. You are there to experience this incredible part of human history and the absolutely amazing structures that these ancient Egyptians made, and it will leave a lasting experience. And for many of you, or some of you, you may want to make a return trip to Egypt. For I think most people, it's I want to go there and see this. It's something I always wanted to see in my lifetime, and go do that and appreciate it for what it is. So now in the second portion of our video, I'm going to give you different clips of our trip and the things that you can expect to see. And then finally, in the last part, I'll tell you how much this cost. Well, Tanya, where are we today?
Giza.
Oh, really?
In Cairo.
Wow, this reminds me of Las Vegas.
That's right. They do have a pyramid
They
there.
do. Yes, they certainly do.
The Luxor.
Yeah, the Luxor.
The Luxor.
Yeah. But these are the original ones here.
Yeah, the real ones.
Yeah, the real ones here. And Tanya has decided that we're going to go take a camel ride. Is that right, Tanya?
No.
Oh, we're not going to. Okay. Here's our trusty steed is over here. He's just munching on some grass and really disappointed that we're not going to be taking part in that. That's okay. We got the picture. Yeah. So I wanted to mention one of the things that we organized when we came here is a little bit more together. So I can get you. This is, of course, the lovely Tanya and our guide, Bishoy. Habibi, he says. And Habibi is our sort of
Darling.
darling.
That's Habibi.
That's Habibi.
Yeah.
It's sort of our Yalla and Habibi, which sort of means let's get going, get in the van.
Let me tell you something, sir.
Yes, sir.
You will leave your wife here.
Okay.
You will go back home alone.
Sounds fine. This is typical of Egyptian men. They tend to be very, very direct. Very direct. So let's see how the rest of the day goes.
I was kidding.
من أفواه الأطفال والرضعان هيأت سبحا ثم تركهم وخرج فريق.
So we are in the Citadel. which is now a mosque, and it was the main fortress built by Muhammad Ali, not the Muhammad Ali that we all know, but it's Muhammad Ali, who was one of the kings.
Egypt, every few meters you can find the mosque. It's very easy. So people.
The flight from Cairo to Luxor was only about an hour, and everything has been so well organized. Oh, and there's the lovely Tanya. How was the restroom?
Oh, very nice.
Very nice. What do you think of Luxor so far? It's hard to tell. You're
It's
just
hard
at the
to tell.
airport, right?
Exactly.
Tanya and I are in Luxor right now, and we're waiting to check into our room on our Nile cruise. And we just took a walk down the street and popped into the Winter Palace Hotel, which is very nice.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, and it's part of it's a Sofitel hotel now. And I'm just looking at the little
Plaque.
information plaque here telling a little bit about the history of this hotel and the gardens that we're looking out at here, which is absolutely beautiful. The hotel was built in 1886, and Howard Carter, who was the guy, the British explorer who discovered King Tut's tomb, he stayed here, and they named some of the other people who have stayed at this hotel: King Farouk, Howard Carter, Jackie Kennedy, Jane Fonda, John Malkovich, Henry Kissinger, King Juan Carlos, Princess Caroline of Monaco, Al Gore, Boutros Ghali, Prince Charles and Lady Di, Helmut Kohl, Tony Blair, and President Sarkozy. And it says here that recently Richard Gere paused for lunch here with his family by the fountain. So the only celebrity missing is George Clooney, and Amal. And we've been looking around, haven't seen them, but I'm sure this better be on their list. It really is a beautiful old hotel.
Not that hot. About the sun, almost.
Now at the Luxor Temple, which is here in Luxor, of course, and this one's smaller than Karnak, and it was built primarily by two of the Egyptian kings, but it is nonetheless very, very impressive. How much did our 8-day, 7-night trip to Egypt cost? Okay, first of all, our payment to Exotica for 2 days. So a lot of this was all paid in advance. So this was our Nile trip, all our guides, the hotel, all the hotel rooms, a lot of the meals, all of the entrances to all the different temples and events, and so it was a fairly all-inclusive kind of package. So for the two of us, it was $4,700. So roughly $2,350 each. Then tips was about $250 is what we spent. Additional food, maybe another $45, and our visas to get in was $25 each, so there was $50. So that's a grand total of about $5,050 that we spent, or about a little over $2,500 each. Works out to about $310 a day per person. That may seem like a lot, but not really when you figure everything that was included. Now that it also included the airfare between Cairo and Luxor. Did not, of course, include the airfare of getting to Cairo in the first place. But that's kind of what you can expect. You can spend less, I'm sure, and you can certainly spend more. But that's what it was. Thank you very much for watching this video, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.